Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. We constantly hear business owners and managers talking about being in control. They're managing teams, balancing budgets, launching new products. And let's be real, it feels pretty good to be the boss, right? But according to our source material today, this feeling of total control, it's kind of an illusion. Today we're going to explore the massive, completely uncontrollable macro forces that actually dictate a company's long-term survival. If you've ever wondered why some businesses thrive for decades while others just collapse overnight, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the illusion of isolation. Second, the 7 external forces. Then we're going to zoom in on 2 specifics, the demographic shift and solving the social puzzle. And finally, we'll wrap up with the strategic imperative.
All right, Section 1, the illusion of isolation. Because, spoiler alert, no business is an island.
And this brilliantly illustrates our core premise. Absolutely no business operates in a vacuum. Just look at the stark contrast here. Over on the left, you've got your internal environment. That's your comfort zone. This is where managers control day-to-day operations. Things like buying supplies, hiring staff, creating products. You leverage your skills here and it feels safe. But then look at the right side, the external environment. This is a swirling, constantly evolving landscape that is entirely outside of management's control. And here's the kicker. If you only focus on that safe left side, you're risking massive strategic misalignment and ultimately the total loss of your competitive advantage.
Moving on to Section 2, the 7 external forces. Time to map out that unpredictable landscape.
So, to avoid that strategic misalignment we were just talking about, we really have to zoom out. The external environment isn't just some random cloud of chaos. It's actually made up of numerous outside organizations and forces, which we can break down into these 7 key sub-environments. Ready? We've got economic shifts, political and legal regulations, demographic changes, social trends, competitive pressures, global market dynamics, and technological disruptions. I mean, look at that list. It is an overwhelming number of distinct challenges to juggle. But remember, every single one of these sectors also presents a distinct set of opportunities. The businesses that actually survive are the ones proactively managing trends across all 7 of these.
Next up, Section 3, the demographic shift. Let's talk about shifting populations. When we talk about demographics, we're basically looking at the hard data, the systematic study of population characteristics and vital statistics. And our source material emphasizes that understanding this is absolutely central to survival. Why? Because today, businesses have to address the wildly distinct behaviors of multiple generations all at the exact same time. It's like a giant puzzle. As our societies get more and more diverse, the organizations that develop a really nuanced understanding of these demographic shifts are the ones who can actually pinpoint emerging market segments and align their value propositions to match.
Let's look at a super tangible, relatable example of this kind of demographic disruption happening right now, the aging of the population. We currently have a massive cohort of baby boomers rapidly approaching retirement age. Now, on the surface, you might just think, okay, our consumer base is changing, but actually, scratch that. It's also a massive internal threat for businesses. As our source material points out, this aging population is, and I quote, representing a considerable outflow of experienced talent from the workforce. Think about the sheer gravity of that for a second. Decades of institutional knowledge, deep industry relationships, and hard-earned expertise are literally walking out the front door. Businesses desperately need to proactively plan for this transition, because if you don't have robust knowledge retention strategies and succession plans ready to go, your business is going to suffer a severe brain drain.
All right, Section 4, solving the social puzzle. Let's look at the subjective side of things.
We are shifting gears now from the hard, quantifiable data of demographics into the highly subjective, kind of elusive world of social factors. So consider this. How do these factors actually shape consumer behavior? Well, prevailing attitudes, values, and lifestyle trends exert a massive, undeniable influence on what consumers buy, how they buy, where they buy, and even when they choose to engage with a brand at all. It basically dictates the entire relationship between the buyer and the business.
So, the crucial point is this. Unlike just counting the number of people retiring next year, social factors present a really unique analytical challenge. They are inherently subjective, which makes them incredibly difficult to define, quantify, and forecast with any real precision. Plus, consumer values and lifestyle preferences don't just stay frozen in time. What a consumer cared about at 20 is rarely what they care about at 40.
Because of this constant evolution, the text notes that businesses must continuously review and refresh their market insights. You can never just stop studying your customer.
And finally, Section 5, the strategic imperative. How do we navigate all these forces?
Okay, so we've established that the external environment is vast, totally uncontrollable, and constantly shifting. So, how does a business actually survive all that? Well, the framework provided by our source is called environmental scanning. Essentially, this means systematically monitoring those external forces so you can adapt your strategies and sustain your competitiveness. And listen, this isn't just some once-a-year executive retreat activity. Organizations literally have to embed this scanning process directly into their continuous strategic planning cycle. When you truly embed environmental scanning into your company's DNA, it translates into this concrete 3-step strategic response. Step 1, you anticipate disruption before it totally blindsides you. Step 2, you capitalize on emerging opportunities while your competitors are still scratching their heads trying to figure out what's happening. And Step 3, you mitigate risks before they materialize into actual crises. This right here is exactly how rigorous analysis translates into actionable survival.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer force of this quote from our source material. It says, "Continuous adaptation is not merely a best practice, it is a strategic imperative." I absolutely love that phrasing. It's not a suggestion. It's not a nice-to-have bullet point for your corporate brochure. Adapting to economic, demographic, social, and technological developments is an absolute mandate if you want your business to survive.
So, what does this all mean for us? I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question. Look at your own work, your own business, or even just your own team. Are you actively scanning the horizon, mapping out those 7 external forces? Or are you just managing the day-to-day, caught up in that illusion of isolation? Because let me tell you, the external world is coming, whether you're ready for it or not. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope it sparked some serious curiosity for you. Keep learning, keep scanning that horizon, and I will see you next time.